Video.tv. I had some time this morning to watch a couple of interesting vids. Two of them from friends of mine, Joycee Cat and Brian Almighty Vlog. First, I just want to say to Brian, hang in there. I know the odds are kind of stacked against you right now, but as long as you keep plugging away and don't give up, even if the odds are 100 to 1, 500 to 1, even 1,000 to 1, eventually by just plugging away at it and putting applications at different places, you will eventually get an offer. But I wanted to also, people ask me all the time to give my advice based on my life experience, so like anything else, your mileage may vary, but it's what works for me. You'll probably see some little rain spots appearing on my visor because I am kind of riding in the sprinkling rain. What I've found about seeking jobs, and I've had quite a few jobs in my lifetime, is it's not so much your skill level. I mean, you do have to have a basic skill set or be willing to learn skills pretty quickly, but what can get you hired a lot of times is more your communication skills. And if there's anything us vloggers know about, it's having the communication skills. That is one set we do have. So what I would suggest is, along with putting applications in, try any way, shape, or form you can to communicate with not just the personnel office, but anybody else in the company that you can possibly reach that has the authority to hire you, especially a supervisor or a general manager or an assistant general manager. A lot of times those people have the power, not always, but a lot of times they have the power even to overrule the personnel manager and hire you if for some reason they decide that they like you. And if you communicate and the person gets to know you personally, that's what'll really do it. My last job that I had for the longest period of time, along with a lot of other jobs, I mean, I even worked 2 full-time jobs at the same time in various periods of my life, but my last full-time job, where I fortunately got to retire from early, when I put in the application, they went ahead and hired somebody else. But besides just calling to check on, like they usually say, when you put an application in, make a call back to make sure they at least looked at your application and didn't lose it or something, and what's going on, whether a person was hired. Well, when I did do the first call back, I found out that they did hire somebody, but I also called back a week later after that as a follow-up call, and they did actually let me through to the superintendent. And he said the same thing too, that they'd already hired somebody from the original position, but he said, as a matter of fact, that morning somebody else had put a 2-week notice on his desk, and if I could come in and talk to him again, it would save him having to put an ad in the newspaper. So just for the fact of saving them, I don't know what it was running at the time, maybe $25 to put a ad in the newspaper, since I was calling back right at the time somebody had quit, I ended up coming in and talking to the guy and getting hired. And my skill set for the job was, other than I had some basic mechanical skills, but my skill set for the job as far as working at a water treatment plant, either drinking water or wastewater, I had nothing. I mean, it was a whole new experience to me. I had no idea what happened to water as far as before you drink it or after you drink it. I just figured, it went down the hole and disappeared. So I got a 30-year learning experience of what all that's about. And I think I got inspired to do it that way, and that's the reason why I usually have gotten hired pretty quickly. The few times in life I've been off work, maybe 2 or 3 times, it's never been for more than a week, and then I usually snag something else. And those been not just in good times too. There have been quite a few recessions, so it's been in good times and bad times. But I think what really inspired me is my dad told a story too of how when he first got out of the service and he was looking for a job and it was kind of hard to find, and he basically just wanted to work for the railroad. So he went down to the railroad superintendent's office every day. He'd show up at this guy's door asking for work, and the guy'd keep telling him there's no work, and after about a week the guy got tired of him standing in the doorway every morning talking to him, and he's like, what can I do to get rid of you? And my dad says, hire me. So the guy goes, okay. So he hired him. So just the fact of persistence and things like that. I mean, the worst they can do to you is say no to you, and you don't have a job anyway, so what are they going to do to threaten you if you're not working? I mean, if you got a job and they're hiring you, they can maybe threaten you a little bit, but when you're not working in the first place, they can't fire you. I mean, I guess they could just tell you don't ever come back again or we'll call the police, but persistence pays off, and communicating as much as possible pays off, and you've definitely got the communication skills, Brian. Also want to talk to Joycee cat about being upset over her kitty disappearing. Well, as you know, with 4 cats of my own, I am very much a cat lover, and one time I had one of my 3 little babies. This was, I think there was 5 at the time. Now what happened was this was a stray cat we brought in. She was a feral cat, I think, that was abandoned by the mom because she was sick, so we took her in when she was a little kitten and got her healthy again, and ended up getting 5 babies in the bargain too. And so while the 5 babies were still with us, we did eventually but found good homes for 2 of the babies and keep 3 of them, so that's the 4 total we have. But while they were all still with us, there was a time, and I was pretty good about, as I'd walk around the different rooms every 3 or 4 hours, I'd make sure that all the kitties were accounted for. But this one time I walked around and I did not see Thumbelina. She's the one that's, and she's very distinguishable. She does not look like the others exactly. I mean, she is a black kitty, but she's got long hair. She looks like a Persian cat, and I guess they do have black Persian cats, and that's what she looks like, but she acts like a ragdoll kitty. I mean, you can just pick her up and carry her around anywhere, which the other cats don't always let you do that. But she had disappeared on us. I'd looked around, and so naturally I called my wife and all the grandkids, and we started a search party for her. Started looking through the house, and we weren't getting too concerned at the time. We just figured she'd went off into a corner, or was in a box or something like that. But we were looking for a while, and we did not find her. So we started looking through the basement. I was thinking, well, maybe I better go down in the crawl space and start looking for her. And by this time I was kind of panicking. I thought, could there be a possibility that she could have maybe just snuck out an open door when somebody was coming or going? Although I didn't think it was likely, because the kittens, the mom was she was an outdoor cat when we first got her, but these kittens weren't even used to the outdoors. And I mean, even to this day, you leave the door open for a little while to bring in groceries or something, they'll go near it, but the babies won't try to go outside. I mean, outside is just unfamiliar territory. So after close to 2 hours went by, and I'm starting to get into a panic and even going outside and looking around, then I thought to myself one more time, I thought I could have sworn that I had looked on the dining room chairs, because you know how cats, with the cushion on the chairs that you have in the dining room table, they like to go underneath and curl up, and I could have sworn that I had checked that place earlier, and nobody else had obviously thought about it too, because we did. After about 2 hours, I looked under one more time underneath the dining room table, and there she was, just curled up. She'd just been sleeping all that time, nice and contentedly. But I mean, by that time I was in a total panic. My heart was racing. I mean, it was as bad as if one of the kids were lost. That's how much my kitty cats mean to me. But boy, I was so happy when I found her, that she was safe and sound, and had never even been out of the area. Probably the whole time just was there, and for some reason, I guess if I did look underneath, I didn't see her. But yeah, I know about it. I mean, I don't think I quite broke down and cried, but I was definitely in a real panic about it. I mean, I was just so much at the time, concentrating on finding her. But as far as I go, it's totally understandable. My kitty cats are my babies. If anything happens to them, oh man. So anyway, that's all about that's going on now. I'm out riding in the bad weather because I went to the credit union, picked up some cash to last me through the next couple of weeks. And oh yeah, Arizona Bob's going on a camping trip. That's kind of neat. Hope he has a fun time. Doesn't get chased up a tree by a bear. But I guess he's experienced it doing that out in that area, so he knows what's going on. I trip with a bunch of my biking buddies 2 weeks ago. That'll be about the last camping trip for this season because it gets very cold up here now. So anyway, I don't know if this is getting close to 10 minutes or not. I can't really see the screen because it's too close. So I will just say I'll talk to you guys a little bit later. Take care.